So probably about a couple hours after we finished our most recent live news show, they released the information of welcome home weeks for Disney Vacation Club members. Jeff, I know you're super excited about these, aren't you?
I am super excited about these.
But there's
a lot of hate for no reason.
There's a lot of hate for them. A lot of people hate free ice cream and hate free characters and all that.
I have a thought, and here's my thought. I think Disney maybe messed this up a little bit by announcing it early. And not only did they announce it early, but they teased it. So we thought something big was coming, and then they announced it.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
If they wouldn't have said anything until the day before, everybody would have been elated. Hey, you happen to be on property? Come on down. We got some ice cream.
Yeah.
Surprise and delight, like Derek DeBoer does with a bucket hat. So,
but normally you have to buy an entire contract. Back in the day before they shut down the ice cream parlor, you had to buy a whole contract to get to go to the ice cream place.
What have you done to your microphone?
I don't know.
You still could take a tour, Amy, and they still would give you ice cream.
Yeah, but then you feel kind of really guilty. It's like guilt ice cream.
And then you're sitting in that room with everybody all excited about
ice cream
you just bought, and you're like, oh, I only got one scoop, and that family that bought 500 points got a whole banana split sundae.
Right, yeah. So now they're just saying, come get ice cream. That's exciting.
Surprise and delight become shock and awe.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, and I am joined as always this week by my lovely wife, Amy Krieger.
Hello.
We've got John Sakari, aka Big Fat Panda, with us.
Welcome home, everyone.
Senior Sales Associate for the DVC Resale Market, Derek DeBoer.
Hey now.
And the man that actually took Derek's place and got a special shirt for this week's episode, the one, the only, Finger Gun Jeff Haslam.
Hey, everybody.
Love it.
Well, happy Monday, everyone. How we all doing? Good?
I just think it's funny that there's two companies that, in the last month, sold one Hey Now shirt and one Finger Gun shirt and said, what are we doing?
We're on a roll.
Wait till Pandora comes out with your Hey Now charm. That'll be great.
Yeah. We could sell so much clothing through this show. Missed opportunity, I feel like. But well, welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show. We're having fun already today, and we are back for another Battle of the Resorts by popular demand. And this week, we are bringing on Animal Kingdom Lodge versus the Wilderness Lodge. So,
Battle of the Lodge.
Hey, let me just say, I'm going to wait till the end of this show to reveal the kind of the audience's poll results, but super close. I checked it a little bit ago. Super close. This is a tight one as compared to our Riviera versus Grand Floridian, which if you missed that one, we did do the battle of all showdowns, and Grand Floridian I think came out a little bit on top of the last one, but we've got some mighty strong opinions in this group on this one already, I think, based off of shirt choices and other stuff. But before we get into it, this and all of our DVC fan content is brought to you by the world of DVC Resale Market, where you can buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract. Monera Financial, who can help you in financing that DVC resale contract purchase, and the DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some points, or rent out your own points. And I always, most of the time, I put graphics up while I say those things, but you will have seen only Derek do the little round the world.
He missed the memo.
Panda and Jeff have decided to retire that, so for some reason it is going into the vault. It may come back out someday, but I guess I have to go back to putting graphics up when we do plugs.
I think Amy had our back on that decision too. It wasn't just us.
I did.
You never have to do it though. You just sit here and watch.
I know, but I'm advocating.
My
that
dove
it has run its course.
Your dove what?
Was being ornery. I had to rein him in order to do it.
Okay. There you go. Well, I hope you guys all are having a good week. As I said, we are kind of going Animal Kingdom Lodge versus Wilderness Lodge this week, and I think it was good the way we kind of did it the last time we did this sort of battle, which was kind of go around the room, get everyone's thoughts, and then kind of break down the specifics of each resort a little bit, kind of talk about the rooms available, talk about the point charts, talk about the amenities, dining, all of that kind of fun stuff. Then we'll go through a couple of our DVC Fan Facebook group comments that we received and review the poll results for the final win. And I have not necessarily fully prepared for this, but I do think I know what my answer is going to be. And so I'm going to start this week just to get it out of the way. And
I don't even know.
You don't know what my answer would be.
I think, but I could be completely wrong.
Ooh.
Well, we should all guess what
I didn't
Paul's
look
gonna
at the.
say.
I didn't look at the poll either. Poll. Did I say that word right?
Poll?
Poll. Bagel.
I don't even know what
Can I guess, Paul, what you're going to say?
Go ahead, Panda.
I think Animal Kingdom is going to be your top.
That's what I think he's going to say too. Yeah.
I have a reason for that too, so I'll find out if I'm wrong, but I have a reason.
Well, Derek is the only one that is wrong. And he was not expecting me to say that at all. He was completely...
I know how much Amy likes the Animal Kingdom, how much she loves feeding giraffes.
Yeah.
So that would make me think that Paul would automatically, whether he knew it or not, be happier about that resort because it makes his wife happy.
No.
Well, and it is our original home resort, and I think that's what you have to go back to. That was the one that we kind of fell in love with when it was time to purchase and buy into Disney Vacation Club. It's the one that we have gone to several times and had wonderful trips. Amazing trip with our moms one time. We brought both of them down and stayed in a 2-bedroom, and that was awesome. And I mean, just the animal aspect alone, Jeff, you even asked this question the other day. You've got some friends that are coming down, and that's why I said the answer I said, which was go to Animal Kingdom, because it's like a park in itself. If you walk out on the savannah and you get to see all those animals, and just the immersive experience that it provides, I think it rivals what some of the theme parks do. And I don't know how many other resorts fully do that. So that is one of my primary reasons. Secondary is just the amazing dining options that are available at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and we'll get into those a little bit later. But Sanaa, the bread service, absolutely amazing. We did dinner at Chico for my birthday one time, and it was so good. And then Boma has not disappointed any time that we've gone. I absolutely love kind of the soups and stews that they put on there, as well as some of us had an amazing breakfast there when we did our Give Kids the World Marathon, and that was an amazing time as well. So you can't, all of the dining knocks it out of the park. I know it has some misses. I'll be honest. It is rare that you will find me wanting to book at Kidani. So that is not probably my most frequently booked resort. It does have the never-ending hallway that you can be walking for miles through to get to your room, but it's where do they balance it out? And I will just end by saying that I also love Wilderness Lodge. We were just there recently, got to spend some time in the pool. Geyser Point, absolutely amazing restaurant. That's really the separator, though, for me, is Geyser Point, for me, is the only worthwhile dining experience there. And the others are just kind of mediocre, in my opinion. But I'll yield the floor. Jeff, give us your thoughts.
So this was actually closer for me than I thought. Anybody that knows me at all knows that Animal Kingdom Lodge has not been my favorite resort ever. We had a really bad experience there early in our DVC membership with a guy, I've told the story before, the guy jumped on the balcony into our room, and how it was handled by Disney from then on I've had a really bad experience. Now, having said that, I've stayed there twice this year, and each time I fell a little bit more in love with the resort, and it's no longer at the bottom of my list like it used to be. Like Paul said, I have some friends coming into town, and I'm literally struggling with this choice right now. I have a 2-bedroom booked at Animal Kingdom. A Copper Creek came up, and it was like Sophie's choice for me. I'm like, what do I do? I want to give these guys the Disney experience. What do I do? And everybody had a different opinion. So I'm having this internal battle Actually, I'm not anymore because I missed out on the Copper Creek one. But having said that, I'm giving Wilderness Lodge just a little bit of a bump over Animal Kingdom for me.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting.
Yeah, and it comes down to really two things. And there's absolutely, Paul's right. The food at Animal Kingdom Lodge is stellar, but if you're Chicken Fingers Jeff, that's pretty picky, that might not be a driving factor for you there. Where is a little more comfort food. I know Whispering Canyon gets a bad rap, but we love it for breakfast. We've gone there multiple times and never had a bad experience. The staff is always really good. Geyser Point, the water pageant going by, just that main pool where you're kind of enveloped in the resort itself with buildings on each side. I boat to the Magic Kingdom, where Animal Kingdom takes you 17 years to get to anywhere, including Animal Kingdom. It's just barely Wilderness Lodge, and specifically Copper Creek up over Boulder Ridge, but it's just barely. I don't know.
I'll comment on your last point real quick. We recently had over at DVC Rental Store, we partner with Becca Hart, who, if you've ever heard of her, she's on Instagram. She does videos on YouTube as well. She's a mom, and so she's always down here, always giving kind of opinions on the parks. But she did a series about timing how long it took her to get from Animal Kingdom Lodge to the other parks. And I don't remember the numbers specifically, but it was surprising in terms of how quickly they were actually running the buses at the time that she was there. So I don't know if they've gotten better, if they've heard the complaints and are looping in more buses through the resort or something. But it was an interesting takeaway. And you mentioning that just made me remember that was the case recently in one of her posts. So
also, Paul's never taken me to G-Co, so I've never eaten there. It's the only place
amazing.
Lodge I have.
Challenge accepted.
Wait a minute. I don't have
we
you
need
looked?
to we need to go.
The menu might be a little too eclectic for you.
That's okay. We can
right now.
we can make him explore outside of his comfort
It's very good. Actually, I will tell you what one of the best things on that menu that maybe you would like, Jeff, is the Boboti mac and cheese.
Ooh,
Yes.
that sounds delicious.
So good. The flavors are so good. Yeah.
So are you going with Animal Kingdom Lodge too?
Animal Kingdom is, Jumbo, especially Jumbo House. I know you kind of crapped on Kidani a little bit, but I have to be fair that we have not stayed in Kidani Village since 2018, our first DVC trip ever. So I feel like we need to go back and experience it, which we are. We have a stay during Wine and Dine, right? In a 2-bedroom there.
Correct.
I do think that Jumbo House, and Kidani, I do think Animal Kingdom Villas really needs a refurbishment right now, but it's coming.
It is.
So when I think about the resorts as a whole, I know transportation is a big thing, and it does feel like even if the times are similar, it does mentally feel better to me when I don't have to take a bus. I'd rather take a boat. But other than the boat to Magic Kingdom at Wilderness Lodge, you've got to take a bus anyway to everything else. So I do think that they're gonna open that walking path to be able to get back to Fort Wilderness someday?
Yeah, so
I feel like I heard that.
Yeah, they've filed permits associated with potential. I do want to just put every disclaimer around this: the potential that they will eventually build on the Reflections land again. But part of that permitting set was related to a path that would connect the Fort Wilderness area back over to Wilderness Lodge and reopen that path. So they've extended the permit option to potentially, in the future, do something that's probably not actually Reflections, but somewhat Reflection-esque.
I feel like Animal Kingdom would be such an elevated resort if they could just put in a walking path to Animal Kingdom Park, or you know what I mean. And I don't even think it would be that hard. I've looked at the map. I don't know. Maybe.
But how long would it be? I feel like
it can't possibly be any longer than walking from Old Key West to Saratoga or Polynesian to Magic Kingdom, which sometimes we've done. I guess you're right. Like normal people might not.
Yeah,
they don't like walking
Disney
all the
just has to
time.
look at it from a perspective of like how many people are actually going to use this path that we invest
Bringing
our
the
money in.
Skyliner over there. You have a hub at Coronado Springs, just like you do at Caribbean Beach, and then you go to Animal Kingdom Park, and those are all a lot closer than people think. But anyways, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Animal Kingdom Villas is, to me, it's our first love when it comes to DVC. And it has, like Paul said, it has an entire zoo right outside your window. And if you have a standard view at Jumbo House, you might still get the zoo for free, the Savannah for free, because all those rooms either overlook the pool or some of the Savannah. Kidani also has the benefit that there's an extra bathroom in the 1 bedrooms and up, so you've got an extra space there for your family. And Bay Lake is really the only other one right now that does that. And I love the food. Obviously, you've talked about that a million times. I could eat at Sanaa all the time. Boma is one of my favorite places. I love Jico. I want to go back to Jico. And I really like the Mara as well. And then there's places we haven't even tried. I really want to try Victoria Falls Lounge. There's some really nice looking like snacks on that menu. The pool bars, we haven't really tried any of those either. And I don't know. I just have a lot of good memories there. I do like Wilderness Lodge, and I like Whispering Canyon more than you apparently. And I love Geyser Point. But at the end of the day, I feel like the rooms, especially the studios, we stay in studios a lot at Copper Creek, are kind of small. And
Agree with that.
I know this is the good thing about DVC is that there's really something for everyone. And I'm pretty sure, and Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that Boulder Ridge is definitely one of your favorite resorts. And I don't like Boulder Ridge. Derek's shaking his head. You guys can't see it. I don't actually like Boulder Ridge. It's actually at the bottom of my list. It's just not my favorite. But that doesn't mean it's not a good resort. It's just that everyone has different tastes, and there's something for everybody with DVC. So that's all I got.
And apparently our tastes are wrong. And just for the record, I'd like to say, I think this is the most consecutive time in any DVC show ever that Derek's not spoken. And he's holding so much back right now. Like you could see it like just oozing from him that he is holding so much back. So Derek, tell Amy and I, please, how wrong we are on this decision.
Okay, first of all, I want to stress nobody is wrong. Like Amy said, that is the greatest thing about
wrong.
Nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong, because when we said that we were going to do this, I immediately thought, okay, do I like Animal Kingdom? And again, it all for me, always the heart and soul of Disney Vacation is the emotion you get when you're there. So for Animal Kingdom, for me, I have a lot of emotion. That was the first product that I ever sold when I became a Disney Vacation guide long ago. That was the first product. So I always have, that was what I was trained on. That was what I was, fed all the fun facts and the meeting your first guests and telling them about it and having them join. So I love Animal Kingdom for that reason. However, it doesn't come close to me versus the Wilderness Lodge, which I call it the Wilderness Lodge. I'm not going to split it up into say Boulder and Copper, but I'm saying the Wilderness Lodge because when it comes to emotions for me, that's where I had my honeymoon. In 1996, after we got married at Disney's Wedding Pavilion, we had one of the 4 honeymoon suites. Back then, they actually had honeymoon suites on the top floor. There was only 4 of them, and they had huge jacuzzi tubs. It was an amazing time, and I just remember that feeling. And I know you get it when you walk into Jumbo House and you get that wow, but for me, the first deluxe resort that I ever stayed at was when previous to that, it was Port Orleans and then Dixie Landings and Coronado and Caribbean Beach and all that. So when you walk into the Wilderness Lodge for the first time, it literally takes your breath away. It just takes your breath away. I just think when you get hit by the smells and you see the fireplace and you hear that soaring music going through the lobby, and you look over to the left, and there's Whispering Canyon, and then you have the waterfall, the water that runs right through the lobby and goes all the way down to the pool. To me, it's just the most quintessential holy cow, where am I resort at Walt Disney World. We just like you said, a couple of weeks ago, we did 2-night staycation at Boulder, and it's been a while since I stayed there at Boulder, and man, I know we talked about it before, but my God, I love the refurb. Our studio was fantastic. Everyone gives love to that major lobby, of course, at the main resort. But the Boulder lobby, I love it. It's like a completely separate little lobby. There's so many nooks and crannies and rocking chairs, and we would play board games and do so much fun stuff there to come back to. It was quiet, it was secluded, but you have 2 resorts. So you have everything at Boulder, and then you also have everything over there at Copper Creek. Like Jeff said, you have the electrical water pageant at night to be able to sit and watch it. You have that boat to the Magic Kingdom. And I know everything else is by bus, but I will do whatever it takes to not have to take a bus, because I don't care if you tell me, oh, the bus ride was only 13 minutes. Everybody experiences that panic when you're like, okay, let's head down to the bus stop. Let's see, oh God, did one just leave, or is one just coming, or how long are we going to wait? Or, oh my God, there's so many scooters and strollers and babies. I don't even think we're going to get on it. Like, to me, I love the thought of going to the Magic Kingdom, which we did, and just walking through the woods and hopping on that little boat and just taking you right there. So for me, and then you throw in Geyser Point, forget it. There's nothing that comes close to that. If that place was open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I would be ecstatic. So for me, it's Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek and the Wilderness Lodge.
I'd love to see just the comparison, like just to take this whole like poll a step further, like Sanaa versus Geyser Point. I wonder who would win that.
Oh, please. It's not even close.
Geyser Point would win that.
Geyser Point would
Sanaa
win.
is so good though.
Yeah, but I would agree only because Geyser Point kind of provides the more general.
It's
palette.
definitely more
The Jeff
friendly.
The Jeff friendly palette will eat more Geyser Point than they will at Sanaa.
And something that no one really talks about, just if I could have 2 more seconds, is the seating at Geyser Point is phenomenal. It's not your regular Disney restaurant chairs and stuff. You're like sitting on couches, and just even when you go to sit down to eat, you feel like you're not even at Disney. So it's got such a completely different feel to it, just in terms of the seating alone. And you look out over there on Bay Lake, you don't see anything else. You don't see any other high rises. You don't see anything else, any other hotels. Geyser, yeah, by far.
Well, and really quick,
If the man named Derek,
but a couple of things that just sparked to my mind. This was a really good comparison. It was even closer than I thought, because after what Derek was just saying, with the grand lobby of Copper Creek.
Don't be weak, Jeff. You're going to change your mind.
No, I'm not, but it's close. Versus the grand lobby at Jumbo, and then you have the quiet lobby at Boulder Ridge versus the quiet at Kidani. Don't sleep on that Kidani. Like those little rocking chairs that are kind of around the corner from the lobby where you can sit there and have your coffee and watch the animals and stuff. It's close. And by the way, I just looked up the menu, and there's plenty at Jico I'll eat. So
really, like, tell me what would you eat? I'm curious.
Filet mignon, he'll eat.
The filet, I would eat this fish. I would eat many of the things.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, and the famous combo was like the filet and mac and cheese, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like Jeff.
Jeff, it's so good.
Yeah, and Jeff, the South African chicken fingers are phenomenal. I love it.
Jeff, you brought up the rocking chairs. One of my most vivid memories at Animal Kingdom Lodge is actually with our good friend Phil Murphy, who we've had on the show before. But Phil tells this story better than I do. But Amy and Pauline and some other friends we were there with, they were all like down looking at stuff and talking and doing stuff. And Phil and I just found ourselves in this little nook outside with these 2 rocking chairs. And we just sat there in silence. And both of us just knew. It was like one of those moments where you just knew we're just going to sit here and take it all in.
I think the crux of their friendship is they can sit and not talk to each other for hours at a time.
Yeah,
and still be okay.
You have to take in the beauty of the situation. A couple minutes later, he like lifted me up like Titanic, or no, basically like Simba.
Like Simba.
Yeah, we have a picture of that somewhere, of him lifting me up like Simba. So
Panda is going to be the tiebreaker of our
Panda
group,
is the tiebreaker
right?
here. So
okay, so this isn't going to be easy.
Writing on this decision. Just so you know.
This was not easy, and let me tell you, Derek put it into words pretty good. If you notice, we all talk from emotion. You know how they say like you don't remember details, but you'll remember like how somebody makes you feel. And I think the resorts are the same way. So I closed my eyes and I just thought of the vibe from both resorts. Animal Kingdom wins for me. Let me tell you why. It does, but not November and December. If it's November and December, Wilderness Lodge wins. So I give it 80%,
Yeah.
or 86, whatever the thing is. Anyway, when I close my eyes and think of the vibe of Animal Kingdom, it's not just the lobby, but those little nooks and crannies with the animals. And then in Jumbo House, that like library section off to the left is just so peaceful. And again, the windows.
I love that room.
You're right. And you're conscious, no matter where you are in that resort, you're conscious that you're surrounded by a zoo, a beautiful zoo that you can get up in the morning and have sip coffee from your balcony and look at giraffes. That moved me. My father-in-law, who just passed away 2 weeks ago, it was a big deal for us to take him there so that we could get up in the morning and see the giraffes. And I remember looking at it through like an 85-year-old's eye. And he's like, this is crazy. I never saw anything like this. So it's that feeling of the animals and the nooks and crannies, the life, the food, everything. But I say but because come November and December, when it's decorated for Christmas, that Wilderness Lodge, again, puts me in a vibe of happiness. Just looking at that fireplace and the decorations, I feel like I'm in a Christmas village. I imagine that there's snow outside and, the holidays are coming up. And especially when Florida does get chilly and we do get some 35-degree nights, when you walk into that Wilderness Lodge decorated for Christmas and it's chilly outside, the best feeling. Might even override the other months for Animal Kingdom, but I still got to give it to Animal Kingdom for the whole vibe and feeling and the nooks and crannies, both in Kidani and Jumbo House.
Yeah.
Matt Smith, one of the people in our DVC fan Facebook group, agreed with you, Panda, and just saying, "Give me the lodge at the holidays and Animal Kingdom Lodge the rest of the year."
I didn't even read that, and I agree completely.
Not a bad argument, honestly.
No,
They
that's-
do.
And
Jeff,
And if
could
you
I
ask
woo
me
you
the
into?
question-
Could I woo you into saying Wilderness Lodge wins for those 2 months?
If you ask me this question a year from now after the refurb is done, I could very well have changed my mind. The rooms in Animal Kingdom are in bad shape, and that is weighing on my decision a little bit. But
How can you even see that they're in bad shape because they're
so dark. You can't.
I don't even know if anything's in bad shape. They need like 6 extra light bulbs in those rooms. I swear to God.
I'd
It is
also
a
just
dark
like
room.
I'd like to add that Jeff's daughter-in-law Tatum works at Animal Kingdom Lodge in the Mara, and he's voting against her.
I am.
Just-
And you know what?
That's
She
not
would
a
too, because
daughter-in-law.
Whispering
Whatever.
Canyon is her favorite restaurant, except for Tepanito. So
I like to ask people, are you going to tomorrow today? It confuses people. It's fun.
At Christmas at Wilderness Lodge, I do like, they have a little gingerbread thing, don't they? Why
The
are we
only
laughing?
the only
My
two
eyes are
people
itching.
that really reacted to that joke were Panda and Derek.
Sorry, I just ignored
The rest
it.
of us, it kind of went
I'm
over our head, or it
It's okay.
missed.
They don't
It fell
listen. They
flat.
can't all be gems. I've realized that.
You could literally go back up the footage and watch it eventually, like 6 or 7 seconds later, it hits me and I go, oh God, that's funny.
But do they have something for Christmas in Animal Kingdom?
They do.
Yes, the tree is just as big as the one at Wilderness Lodge. It's the whole,
Yeah.
almost up to the ceiling.
And they've actually gotten better in
And
recent years of
garland.
doing specialty like sweets. So they have
Mm-hmm.
a gingerbread giraffe that you can bite the head
Yeah.
off of. So that's an opportunity.
All
And,
right, that's cute.
And I
so-
think too, a little fun fact that I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, so Amy might have to Google it, but I think the reason we do love them both is because they're actually designed by the same person. And I think his name is Peter Dominic, and I think he designed obviously the Wilderness Lodge first, so that's why you do have kind of that same feel in both of them, because it's designed by the same person.
The lobby feels very similar, just theme, but it feels similar.
Do you think we will ever see a lobby like that ever again in a Disney Vacation Club property?
Yeah, Riviera. Oh no, sorry.
Isn't the Poly Tower lobby looks wowing? Not
yeah,
like
and
that,
it does
but
look like it might be a couple stories tall, so maybe we'll see that there. I don't think anything's going to be quite as grand as Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge, and Jumbo House
I
lobbies,
think
but
we will. I think it has to do with the theme of the resort because if you look at Wilderness Lodge, it has a lot of similarities to like Yellowstone's Lodge.
Yeah,
if you've ever
Old Faithful
mentioned that.
Inn. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Same. And I've never been to Africa, but those Busch Gardens has a recreation of like an African hunting lodge. It's kind of the same principle where it's big, huge, open areas. So maybe if the situation calls for it.
I thought that the lobby at Reflections was supposed to be kind of
It looked a little more
bit
grand.
more grand,
But it wasn't as when I think grand, I think height. Like I think the
Yeah.
height is really what makes it.
Mhm.
And so it's like whether or not they're going
Multi-stories.
to sacrifice all of that space to just have emptiness to really have that cavernous kind of lobby. I wonder if they will actually.
Yeah. You know, we never really placed this in the same category, but technically Bay Lake's main area is the Contemporary, and that is also a very large.
Yeah.
Isn't that called like Grand Canyon Concourse or something?
Yes, the grand.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Because it's very canyonous. Yeah. Here's a fun fact about Animal Kingdom Lodge. Did you know that they have the largest collection of African art outside of Africa? Yeah.
Did not
see?
know.
I did not
Now
know.
you
did. I learned that when I was in Disney Vacation Club guide training. They beat us over the head.
This is
Now,
your
can you
sign
buy
right
the
there.
art? Can you buy the art there like you can at Riviera and
it's-
stuff?
Oh no, you can't. I wish you could because they have some cool stuff.
They should.
But
Cool
It'd
pieces.
be nice to curate some real.
You know, I was looking at the map because, as I think we're all kind of armchair Imagineers from time to time, I'm kind of on Amy Krieger's idea
Yeah.
here.
I-
Let's make a walking path with like an African village with some more restaurants, some more
Oh,
shops,
that'd
a
be cool.
Skyliner stop. You know, I don't know. I'm on board. Let's make that happen.
Like
Who'd
a
we call?
small
Right.
Harambe, like a small Harambe.
Yeah, exactly. That connects that to the rest of the resort. I think that'd be cool.
I could see that. I would like
so
that idea.
3 years ago, I just looked it up because this article is 3 years old. I wrote an article called DVC Transportation Dreams, and I thought, oh no, I can't find it. Oh, maybe it's in part 2. Hold on, let me find part 2. I mapped out where the walking path could go using Google Maps.
At that time, I think she is that before or after you dreamed about the Grand Floridian walking path that became
Yes,
reality?
in the same article, I put that I wanted to walking path the Grand Floridian, and that I thought it might be possible, except for that bridge. I didn't know what to do with that bridge, and that it happened. See,
So
speaking it into the world.
they're just slowly going through Amy Krieger articles and just checking things off one by one.
well, Coronado is coming up then, hopefully soon.
Sweet.
So we talk about the resorts themselves, but as actual DVC contracts, owning Somewhere Wilderness Lodge versus owning Animal Kingdom Villas, I think there are some significant differences there. And one of them is that when you own at Animal Kingdom, you get 2 for the price of 1, pretty much. In that you have that booking window at Jumbo House or Kidani. So you want big and grand or you want smaller, more intimate, you have both options. Whereas Wilderness Lodge, you've got to buy one or the other as an owner, or both if you
Yeah, and the differences between the years left on these contracts are all over the place. So we've got Boulder Ridge, which is going to be one of the 2042 resorts. We've got Animal Kingdom that I think is next.
57,
And then Copper Creek, which
68
has the
68.
longest expiration on it at the moment. And historically, of those 3 properties right now, I think it's pretty unanimous that Copper Creek is the one that a lot of people have like looked towards. I think Animal Kingdom probably still sells more in terms of resale contracts. And Derek, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, based off of size alone, it's huge. So, but Copper Creek is really the one that a lot of people look at that are like, this is probably one of the best values right now based off of the years on contract, the annual dues, the cost per point. Even our friends Jeff and Dan, they are, considering another contract in the future, and they just stayed at Copper Creek, and I think they're in love with it. So they'll be calling you soon, Derek. But Derek, just elaborate on that a little bit further, just in terms of like where we kind of see these 2 resorts head to head when it comes to like resale right now.
Yeah, or I mean, I even look at it in terms of booking, right? So if someone says, we really love Animal Kingdom, is it hard to get in there at 7 months out? And the answer, honestly, is always no. I mean, so to get a room at Animal Kingdom, to get a Savannah room, where I think it's over 70% of the rooms are Savannah rooms,
Yeah.
it's not hard. That resort is huge. So if you own whatever it is you own, you're going to be able most likely to get into Animal Kingdom at 7 months out. Of course, with the almighty exceptions of one of the concierge rooms or one of the value rooms. Those are very, very hard to be able to get. So if that's what you're looking for, then those are the reasons that you would really want to buy there. But in terms of probably, harder to get into is always going to be, Boulder Ridge or Copper Creek, and everyone talks about, I want to go there during Christmas. And it's like, okay, good luck. Because even people that have contracts there sometimes have to cross their fingers and hope that to get what they want when they're there. Even at Copper Creek, there's not a tremendous amount of studios at that 7 month mark, or even a tremendous amount of studios overall. So if that resort interests you, by all means, like I like to tell people, buy what you love. So if you love Copper Creek, book a studio at 11 months, 10 months out. So, you have it. And then all of a sudden, if you're like, I really want to go to Animal Kingdom, I want to try some, South African chicken fingers and sit on one of those rocking chairs. I want to do that. And you know what? Then just swap it out at 7 months, because you're not going to have a hard time getting a Savannah View studio at 7 months, but you will have a harder time getting, say, a Copper Creek studio at 7 months out, for sure.
I'm guilty of getting those chicken fingers from Boma, dipping them in the South African mustard.
While we're talking about, points and things like that, can I ask what might be a stupid question, but I honestly don't know?
Yeah.
With the Copper Creek cabins, does Copper Creek also have grand villas, and does Boulder Ridge have grand villas?
Copper Creek, yes. Boulder Ridge,
only Copper
no.
Creek, yeah.
Copper Creek. Those grand villas at Copper Creek are probably the best ever.
They're gorgeous.
I've ever seen.
They're amazing. Oh my God. And I don't think there's that many of them. I don't know offhand, Paul, but I think there's got to be like less than 5.
It's a very small
like
number
3 or
of
4,
villas. But they are absolutely gorgeous, even more so than the cabins in terms of just the art and the decor that they put into them.
I have to say, those cabins are a pretty fun, if you can afford them, which I agree, most people can't, but I got pixie dusted once and got to stay there, and that's a tough room to beat. I would put them above the bungalows, I think.
Oh yeah, I would too.
So. I would almost argue, and we brought it up in this show, so I'll bring it up again. There's the potential on the horizon for Reflections to be built again, or something Reflections-esque being built very close to this area. But would you more likely buy there, or if they expanded DVC further into Wilderness Lodge? So if they took some more of those Wilderness Lodge, because that's essentially what they did. They took rooms away from Wilderness Lodge and converted them into DVC rooms. If they did that with another section of the lodge, do you think that would sell better? Because, the situation that Wilderness Lodge has gotten itself into, or Copper Creek specifically has gotten itself into, is similar to what we're seeing at the Poly. And so, we get another couple years down the road here with Copper Creek, it would make sense for them to do a very similar thing of adding a tower or adding another section of the main section of Wilderness Lodge to fix the problem over there, because the
problem being that the cabins inflate the points and sold, and then most of the people that own those points want to stay in the studios. So
it can be highly competitive with the studios. At
Copper Creek can be very hard for studios,
especially even within the 7 to 11 month window. So I just wonder if you were to compare those two things head to head, the potential of a new property being Reflections versus them just adding to the existing Copper Creek, which would be kind of the better seller?
I would say, just like Jeff nodded his head, I would say add on to Wilderness. Make it part of Wilderness, just because then you don't have that automatic roadblock is, what's Reflections? Where is it? Yep. Oh, it's right near the Wilderness Lodge. So you might as well just call it part of Wilderness Lodge. And it just dawned on me too, like Jeff's idea to go from Animal Kingdom to the park and have like a walking path with little restaurants and food. That would be so great to have there. So to have along, Bay Lake, to have, places where you could stop to get something to eat or stop and have a drink, almost like a boardwalky type area, not nearly as big, but then takes you over to whatever that new Wilderness Lodge resort is, I think that would be phenomenal.
Me too.
But do we think they'll do that, or do we think they'll make it part of Fort Wilderness so that they have a way to sell the cabins that aren't selling?
Yeah. That's their bigger problem. And so it's probably going to be a game time decision based off of what is.
I don't think the Fort Wilderness Tower, though, is fitting. Like, I understand that Polynesian was one thing, and a lot of people are still upset that they changed the landscape of the Polynesian, but this would be just complete sticking out. You know what I mean? It would be beyond.
I was mostly being a smart aleck.
Yeah. But you don't know. It could happen. I don't discredit that might not happen.
Make it designed by the people that brought you Communicore, and people will go crazy.
So another comparison that we do in these head-to-heads is kind of point charts and what does the cost of staying at these resorts look like. These, again, this is another fair comparison head-to-head. I just picked a random week in December of 2024. Boulder Ridge in a studio, 114 points. Studio in Copper Creek, 114 points. Animal Kingdom, we'll only do the direct comparison, which is Savannah View, 116 points. You could get a value as low as 64 points.
Okay, to be clear, though, the Standard View studio is 95 points for that same week.
It is,
so at Copper Creek Boulder Ridge, you don't get...
I'm giving Copper Creek Boulder Ridge a little bit of a nod to just
for
where
having
it's at.
unless you got the dumpster view, then you might as well have just spent 95 points. You could be looking at a people pen instead.
I think for the most part, though, we can say that they're fairly equal, right?
There's definitely a dumpster view at Boulder Ridge.
Okay. Amy does not agree whatsoever with that.
But there's also a view where somebody can jump on your balcony at
That's
Animal
true.
Kingdom.
That's at Kadani.
Jeff, I can't believe that
when I was
happened.
looking for next month, there was a 5-point difference between a two-bedroom Savannah and a two-bedroom at Copper Creek. So I think Paul's right. I think that's a pretty fair comparison.
Unless it's a dumpster.
All right, noted.
So point chart wise, pretty equal comparison. We've talked transportation a little bit. So I will say exactly, I think what Derek, you described was what happened to Amy and I when we were there recently. So we were going from Copper Creek over to Magic Kingdom for the day, and we parked our car,
we just missed
and
the
we
bus.
walked, and we watched the Magic Kingdom bus drive off into the sunset. And even the board at that point said it was going to be 12 to 15 minutes for a bus or use watercraft. But I stood there also and said, I'm just going to walk over to the watercraft, and it's going to be leaving as well. So we just waited for we just waited out the bus. But
we were the only ones on the bus.
We were,
and
it
was prime time to go to Magic Kingdom. It was
rope drop time.
So
First of the morning,
on a Sunday, I couldn't believe that. I'm still can't believe that.
Can you though also take the watercraft to Contemporary?
You can
from Wilderness Lodge now?
I believe that they opened all those lines up.
I believe they reopened that line because we actually took that boat when we were doing the Give Kids the World Marathon. So
there's also a bus that goes directly to Fort Wilderness, which is kind of cool if you wanted to just head over there, walk around, go to Hoop to Do.
It'd be nicer if there was a walking path, though.
It would be nicer if there was a walk. We've never experienced the walking path.
Dining, I think we've touched on most of the dining for both of these resorts. We've got, over at Animal Kingdom, we've got Sanaa, you've got Jigo, you've got the Mara, you've got Boma.
Victoria Falls
Lounge, which we still want to try. We've never really been able to have
pool
a snack
bars
there.
that I can't remember the names of.
The pool bars
at the top of my head.
Over at Wilderness Lodge, we've got Whispering Canyon. You've got Geyser Point.
Yep.
Artist Point. So the character dining at Artist Point. That's one that we have not done in a long time. We actually did that, I think, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked it when we did it.
Yeah, it was nice. It's a little more of a prefixed menu in terms of your selections are a little bit limited, but some good character experiences there.
Roaring Fork is the quick service. It's nice. So
Territory Lounge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. That is that.
I always forget about that one.
Yeah, we need to go and try some of the appetizers that
We
they
want
have.
to try some of the appetizers there, and then also at Territorial Lounges where they do their specialty kind of craft thing. It's on Thursdays, and you can make. I think it's like a.
It's a cutting board,
It's
right?
it's like a
Or a
cutting
wood serving
charcuterie serving board.
Yeah.
But you can select one of multiple logos, but you can put the Wilderness Lodge logo, which I think is the only option you should pick. They were also doing like the 100th logo back in
There's
the
a
100th
DVC
celebration.
one.
There was a DVC logo, but I think the one that fits like the wooden cutting board is like
The Wilderness
you got to
Lodge.
go with the Wilderness Lodge logo. So
We almost did it. We almost did it. But then we looked at like the price of it. They do give you like some appetizers, I think, as part of it. But it was like, I want to say like $60 a person. So it's not
So,
like.
okay.
like
I thought it was per couple though.
So it's
Don't
like,
you work on the same board together?
so I
as
think it's like for two people, it's like one price, and then you
One
can
person,
add a second board if you actually
Okay.
have two people and you want separate crafts. So, but we've looked into it a couple times. I don't know the last time we have, but it's on a Thursday, so it's never really aligned with our plans. So we're just gonna have to book it someday. And
I do love the gift shop at Jumbo House. It is one of the largest gift shops. And then they also have another smaller gift shop at Kidani, whereas there's just the one at Wilderness Lodge. So if you're into shopping the gift shops, Jumbo
But
House.
it's a great one at Wilderness Lodge. That mercantile gift shop is it's incredible. I love that. Gift shop.
I
What's
like
the bear's name?
Smokey. There's a lot of Smokey the Bear, and
No, it's another bear. Humphrey.
Humphrey the Bear.
Humphrey.
that's not
This guy?
Smokey the Bear. Oh,
no, there is a bunch of
there's
Smokey
a
the
bunch
Bear
of
merch.
Smokey the Bear merchandise, which
I'm sure there is.
get, but I don't get. Like I get that it's kind of wildernessy, but I don't understand what Smokey the Bear has to do with Disney.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He was their mascot.
I'm
from
with
the-
you, Amy. I think the Jumbo gift shop puts the mercantile to shame. I don't even think it's a close comparison at all.
Yeah, you got these giant wooden drafts and all kind of stuff.
So the ultimate decision goes to our DVC fan Facebook community, where we actually posed this question. And let me just say, this was about as tight as you can
Aw.
get in terms of the
I
results.
didn't vote. Wait, let me go vote.
No, because it is that close. So Wilderness Lodge came in as the winner with 51% of the vote. And Animal Kingdom Lodge at 49%. So just with how close that is, like if I voted and Amy voted, it would probably be a tie at that point. Like,
Can you tell how many votes split by? Like how close was it?
let me see if I can click into it. So yes,
1%.
we've got
real quick before he can see.
Wilderness Lodge has 51% of the vote with 264 votes. Animal Kingdom Lodge 259. So we would need 5 people. So you're not going to make the difference.
I
I'm
just
sorry.
voted. It didn't help.
You still lose.
Way closer than our last one. That's awesome.
But yeah, this was like a good head-to-head matchup. Like I'm surprised at
And
how close
Animal
it was.
Kingdom always comes out on top a lot with dining things and other sort of polls that we run. So I was
Yeah.
surprised that this was
There's
that we
a lot
lost.
of
I lost.
Wilderness Lodge fans out there. Yes, Derek.
I have 2 things to say. The first of all is I think it's great because this show came about, if I'm not mistaken, because after we did the Grand and Riviera show, so many people said, what would be great? You
Yeah.
should do Wilderness Lodge versus Animal Kingdom. So when you mention it, we do listen. So thank you for that awesome idea. And one more thing I wanted to touch on that we did not touch on, which is a huge part of everybody's vacation, which are the pools. The pool resort. That is a tremendously big part. That was a huge part of my staycation. We were at the different pools at Wilderness Lodge both days. I love the pools, and I love the pool at both. I'm not a fan of the one at Kidani, just because if you're staying at Jumbo, forget it. It's just too far to get to, and it's a little crazy and hectic. But the ones at Wilderness Lodge, to me, help seal that deal because that quiet pool at Boulder is phenomenal, and you
I
can even
will
get
agree with
free
that.
cabanas, free
Free
cabanas.
cabanas. Yep.
They're early enough. So, and a huge hot tub, not like the rinky dink ones that like fit, Jeff's foot. I'm talking like you could fit like 10 to 12 people comfortably in that quiet hot tub there at Boulder Ridge. So
Did
they
you get
win
up
for-
early enough and get one of the? No. Okay.
no.
See, I don't know. I don't know. Even though I voted for Wilderness Lodge, I I like the Kidani pool better than the Jumbo pool, and I know I'm in the minority.
Oh, I
but
love
if you're
the
a
Jumbo
water
house.
Have
slide
we ever
guy,
done? I don't know that we've done the
Jumbo
Kidani
water
pool.
No,
slide is
we've
not a
only
water
walked around.
The Jumbo water slide is not a water slide. So if you're a water slide person, or if you got kids for a splash pad, Kidani's way better, and it's way easier to get a drink at the bar because it's not as busy.
That's a good point.
Oh, we need to
that's
try
true.
that pool.
The water slide at the main pool at Wilderness Lodge, it's not good. Like Annie and I went and we got to the top of it and we looked around and asked these people behind us, like, is this only for kids? Like, are we going to get thrown out for going down this thing? Because it's really so slow and it's not very long. So we were like, yeah, it's not a good pool for a water slide. But in terms
I
of
feel like a
these things,
Jumbo, Derek could get on the Jumbo water slide and his feet could be in the water and his head could still be up where you get on. Like, it is so stupid.
But the pool at Jumbo House is very big.
It's huge. Yeah.
Very
it's a huge
nice.
place for people to pee. It's great.
But I do like the is it the Boulder Ridge pool?
Yep.
yeah.
You know, we're having a little bit of some technology. Like Derek was freezing a little bit, and it was kind of at the best parts where he was like, really into it.
Pinpoint a couple of the comments that people left on our post on the DVC fan Facebook group. Again, I don't know if we really have said this all that much, but if you do want to chime in and give your opinions beforehand so that we can kind of bring them up on the air, please head over, join our group on Facebook, the DVC fan Facebook group. That's where we put these polls, have these head-to-heads, and we kind of interact with you as well. So just kind of going through this, Tim Holt said Wilderness all the way, both great, but resort only stay. You can't beat Wilderness Lodge. Did I mention the Bison Burger? We actually haven't mentioned the Bison Burger the whole show, so there's your Bison Burger.
Wait, you're going to scroll past the mustard comment.
Mustard, where's there a
Right
mustard
above
comment?
the burger. Right above it.
Megan said Animal Kingdom Lodge because of Boma and its famous mustard.
Best mustard ever. I bet
Jeff
it'd go
introduced
good
me
on a
to
sandwich.
Jeff introduced me to pancake over there. They're very good.
Tristan said Animal Kingdom Lodge has amazing restaurant options. Still dreaming about the bread service and Sanaa's buttered chicken, South African wines, and Savannah views. My kids love the Kidani pool and splash pad area. It's awesome for tiny ones. The activities, learning that happens on the resort property unmatched. Nighttime safaris for extra magic. Lastly, Kidani has 2 bathrooms. You mentioned that already in the 1 bedroom, and that is crucial for certain families. So that's definitely a big one. We've got Brittany saying Wilderness Lodge is gorgeous, but if you travel from the Northeast or mountain regions of the U.S., you can experience the same thing at home. Cannot do that and experience a Savannah. So that's a big one for a lot of people. Choosing Wilderness Lodge for the park access and pools, and because I love the refurbished rooms at Boulder Ridge, said Melanie. After the Animal Kingdom refurb, though, I might choose it instead. Animal Kingdom Lodge would win for food. I love the animals. Let's see what else we have. I'll read a couple more here. Joan said, tough choice. However, Animal Kingdom Lodge Savannah is awesome. Food is outstanding. And even the entertainment as the pool is terrific. Cast members attentive. Last stay with my grandson, had a blast at the pool and made a lot of new friends. Recently stayed at Wilderness Lodge and love the lobby and Geyser Point as well, but love Animal Kingdom Lodge more. I feel like the Animal Kingdom Lodge crew is more vocal in the comments, but they didn't come out in the votes. So I feel like there's some more comments for Animal Kingdom versus the others, and it's interesting to kind of compare the two there. But there's some of your opinions.
Everyone might be frozen.
Everyone's frozen but us. But that is some of the other opinions. We're gonna probably
Panda's face looks hilarious.
reset our internet and get geared up for another DVC show in the future. But if you did not get to chime in, please share in the comments below this video what your thoughts are: Animal Kingdom or the Wilderness Lodge. Also, be sure to subscribe to our DVC Fan YouTube channel and follow along at dvcfan.com, our Facebook group, and for some more funny stuff behind the scenes, because boy, we've had a lot of it today so far, patreon.com/DVCFan. That'll do it for me. There's the lovely Mickey, and
Flappy arm.
we will flappy arm Mickey, and we will see you all next Monday.